Hi there, how's it going? Um, I'm not sure whether I want to be on this bandwagon or not, but I might want to be in this bandwagon. I don't know. Uh, Perhaps the people who are already on this bandwagon are people that I want to deal with because they have very, very similar morality views as my own. But perhaps, this bandwagon is just full of superficial people who don't really care about the thing. They're just virtue signalling, they're waving their dharma like a flag, as the Hindus were saying long before the phrase virtue signalling came up. Uh, I'm on this we hate Prince Harry bandwagon because I know I'm a bit late, this was like 5 or 10 years ago, but I only just found out, that Prince Harry wore a Nazi costume to a Halloween party. And there are people expressing shock and horror, and what I'm saying is, like, potentially I don't want to be in this bandwagon because, like, if you were a British, Prince Harry is like, he's British military, and he's a royal, it's hard for me to grasp what Prince Harry is on the inside, but on that night when he was wearing that costume, on the outside he appeared to be a Nazi. And I am shocked and horrid. When I was a kid, when I found out the policies of Nazi Germany, and I was like, oh my god, governments fucking do that to people. I was genuinely shocked and horrified. It wasn't just, I better express shock and horror at this, on the inside. Whether I express shock, I was horrified. And, if that's what the people on the bandwagon of Let's Hate Prince Harry are all about, if they are genuinely shocked and horrified at the policies of Nazi Germany, and it's I'm with them, and I've always been with them, sort of thing. But I just haven't jumped on the Let's Hate Prince Harry bandwagon yet, and so maybe I want to be in this, maybe I don't, but like, potentially, uh, you know, Prince Harry. It's hard for me to grasp what's going on in the inside of a soldier, let alone a royal. So I don't know what Prince Harry is on the inside. But if it's just a costume that he wore on the outside, it's actually quite a good costume, considering he's British military. And like Nazis, if you were a soldier in 1945, Nazis were very fucking scary, actual fucking Nazis. And for somebody to dress up in a Nazi outfit in Halloween, who's British military, who's a royal, it's actually quite an appropriate costume, because it's very fucking scary. So, like, if it's just, some superficial, we hate the Nazis, but they don't really, sort of thing, then I don't want to be in the bandwagon because I genuinely do hate the policies of Nazi Germany. I am horrified by the Nazis, what they did, what King Herod did, what Pharaoh did, what Julius Caesar did. I'm horrified by these things. Like the people who, like, transported the Negro slaves to America. That's something, the Nazism sort of thing, even though it was long before the Nazis. But you get the idea that's iniquitous power to just do what they please with people, sort of thing. That is horrifying. But I'm not sure whether the people on the Let's Hate Prince Harry bandwagon are the people that I want to deal with. But if Prince Harry is a Nazi on the inside and it wasn't just a costume he's wearing on the outside, then I want to gel with the We Hate Prince Harry people, because I think we are all on the same boat here. We are shocked and appalled at the policies of Nazi Germany, and it's not just some superficial hate, but inside it grieves us, to think that governments can do that to people. So if, I'm on the right bandwagon here, Let's Hate Prince Harry, because Prince Harry is a Nazi in the inside, then I want to be on the bandwagon because I am with you guys 100%. But for me, it's hard for me to grasp the mentality of a military guy, let alone a royal. Because for me, like now when you're growing up, it's like, what do you want to do for a living? I want to be a mechanic. I want to fix people's cars. What do you want to do for a living? I want to bake cakes. What do you want to do for a living? I want to program computers. What do you want to do for a living? I want to kill people. To me, it's like there is a morality that must be deeply pondered with folk that take a military career. So I don't quite grasp the military mindset, let alone the mindset of a royal. So it's hard for me to say if Prince Harry is a Nazi in the inside, but I have to acknowledge that night when I seen the footage of Prince Harry wearing a Nazi costume, that is what that represents to me, are those who support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany. And if that's what Prince Harry is, fuck Prince Harry, he's a cunt. But if it's just a costume he was wearing, it is quite a good costume, and it was a scary costume, and it was Halloween sort of thing, you know. So, you know, George Bush is still alive, as Steve Hughes would say, you know, let's hate positively, you know. I've got better things to do in my life than sit there shouting hate at Prince Harry if it was just a Halloween costume. But if he's the type of person that supports and promotes the policies of Nazi Germany, I am 100% with you people. But, you know, am I a weirdo on this bandwagon because it's only a kind of superficial hate for Nazism? Do you actually want to be in this bandwagon? Do you guys genuinely hate those that support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany? Now, I'm being very, very specific using this phrase, support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany, because, you know, there's, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen a programme called On the Buses, and there was that officious inspector guy who was very strict, you know, and they called him a Nazi, you know, but he wasn't like an actual Nazi, because he wasn't there promoting and supporting the policies of Nazi Germany. It was just a throwaway derogatory statement they would make against this inspector guy, you know. And there's a lot of times the phrase Nazi is used to, you know, just express a certain, like, it's in that type of direction sort of thing, but they're not like full-blown people that support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany. So when I'm using the phrase Nazi, I'm not talking about people who are dressed in outfits that are Nazis because they're wearing uniforms and they're doing Hail Hitler salutes and they're tattooed with swastikas and stuff like that. What I mean is that they support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany. So when I'm talking about a Nazi, but maybe Prince Harry is a Nazi, maybe not, maybe it's just an external apparel sort of thing, you know. But, you know, the thing that appalls me is people who are Nazis on the inside, and this is the thing that I am calling Nazi in this audio cast. So maybe I'll be thrown off this bandwagon because I don't really belong, you know, because these aren't actually opposed to people who support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany. You just don't like his costume sort of thing, you know. But I'm wondering about this bandwagon. Is it because Prince Harry's a Nazi on the inside? Are we actually opposed to people who are actual Nazis, people who promote and support policies of Nazi Germany? Like for example, in 2007 in Anne Frank's country, physician-assisted death was reintroduced, which hadn't been seen since the Nazis were there, you know. So that was people promoting and supporting the policies of Nazi Germany. And when there's situations where people are being denied access to the media, it's maybe a bit, I don't know if people on the bandwagon are actually, you know, concerned about human rights or whether they just don't like Halloween costume parties. You know, access to the media is not about can I afford a television. Access to the media is about, like, you know, you have a fundamental human right to have your views and opinions expressed on the media, just as everybody else does. And, you know, there's that many people who have been denied access to the media, and they maybe not even realise that their fundamental human rights are being breached, that their views and opinions are not being expressed on, like, TV and radio and newspapers, and, you know, certain views are being suppressed from Facebook and stuff like that, you know. And you don't even know what the views are if you can't actually see them, but, you know, you're certainly not living in a country where there's free speech if you don't even know what the people who don't have free speech have to say, sort of thing, you know. So, you know, what, are we actually appalled by the policies of Nazi Germany? You know, when great political institutions are installed in such a way that they can't be voted out, sort of thing, you know, like what happened with the Maastricht Treaty, an unelected Prime Minister, you know, placed the EU over the top of anything that we could vote for in the UK. And, you know, the same would be said for, like, France and the other countries, you know. It wasn't like we the people decided, like, oh, let's join the EU. It was top down. That's what we're doing. If you don't like it, leave, sort of thing, you know. Are we equally appalled by people who are promoting and supporting the policies of Nazi Germany? Because, you know, as soon as Hitler got into power, it was not possible to vote him out, you know, because the only politicians you could support in Nazi Germany were those who were into Nazi ideology. In a likewise fashion in the European Union, you can't vote the European Union out because they've locked the door behind them, saying that's it, you're part of the European. We never got a say in it, and we can't leave it. So it's kind of like the same thing. It's one of the policies of Nazi Germany is that you can't vote the Nazis out. Now, I know some of you might be a bit shocked and wait a minute, you're comparing the EU to the Nazis. That's a bit over the top, Yeah, I'm just saying it was one of the policies that you can't vote out the EU any more than you can vote out the Nazis. Now, I'm not saying the EU is a Nazi organisation. I'm just saying that the chosen president of the EU is Ursula von der Leyen, who is part of the Planter families, and she's very proud of her heritage. It's not like she rejects everything that her foot. She's very proud of that. And the Planter families were the racists who could afford the boats that the Negro slaves were placed on, carted off to the plantations that the Planter families owned. Now, I'm not saying people who enslaved the Negroes and the people who have that heritage and are very proud of that heritage, I'm not saying those people are Nazis. I'm just saying that there's a similar policy there that you can't vote out the Planter families that are running the EU now that they've installed themselves into power over Europe. And I don't know how connected Hitler was with the Planter families, but it's let's suppose it's a completely different thing, but one of these policies is that you can't vote them out, sort of thing. So that are we appalled by people who support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany, or is it just we don't like people wearing swastikas on the outside? And Nazi Germany, it was a police state. Everybody was under total fucking surveillance to the extent that the technology was available to them. I dare say the Stasi, who came to occupy eastern part of Germany after the Third Reich fell, their technology was even better, and that also was a police state, And you could say that the Stasi themselves, the sort of the Soviet-controlled authorities in East Germany, you could say that those people were indeed supporting and promoting the policies of Nazi Germany. In a kind of way, the Stasi were in fact Nazis, if you look at it through the perspective that they were supporting and promoting the policies of Nazi Germany. So when I'm talking about Nazis, I'm not talking about do you wear a swastika. I'm talking about do you support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany. If you do, you're a Nazi. That's what I mean. So when all the surveillance apparatus was installed over the UK in 1995 by the Prime Minister who was at that point elected, because when he sort of dissolved the sovereignty of the UK in favour of European directives, he was not elected at that point. But by the time it got to the point he installed the surveillance apparatus over the UK, and this is before the internet surveillance stuff. This is like CCTV cameras, the stuff that's evolving into facial recognition and the automatic number plate recognition constantly watches us everywhere we go. These are the policies of Nazi Germany. So when people are supporting and promoting the policies of Nazi Germany, I'm referring to them as Nazis. I am appalled by their ideology, and I've always been appalled by their ideology. And if we're jumping on this We Hate Prince Harry bandwagon, am I on the right bandwagon here, or is it just you don't like his Halloween costume? It's not so much what they wear on the outside, it's what they are on the inside that appalls me, So, for example, this new experimental medical thing called mRNA, those who support and promote the policy of mandating these experimental medical procedures, they promote and support the policies of Nazi Germany. They're Nazis, I am appalled by these people, and if I'm going to jump on the bandwagon of let's hate Prince Harry because he's a Nazi, am I on the right bandwagon here? Do you guys agree with me I mean, presumably you guys know that Prince Harry is a Nazi on the inside. I don't know because, you know, I find it hard to grasp the military mindset, let alone the royal mindset. It's hard for me to see uh, Prince Harry for what he actually is. You know, for me, it's just like what I see is that he's wearing a costume to a Halloween party, but there's a whole load of people horrified that he did that. And I'm kind of hoping that it's because he's a Nazi on the inside, and you guys are appalled by people who are Nazis on the inside, and you know you can see Harry better than I can because you understand it better, and he is a Nazi on the inside. You know, I'm sort of blind to what Harry actually is on the inside, but I do see he's wearing external apparel, and there's a lot of people who are horrified by the fact that he wore that external apparel. But I'm hoping that you know if I'm going to be on this band, I don't want to be in this bandwagon if it's just superficial nonsense. But if you guys are agreed with me that Nazi policies are the things that people that support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany are the things that make Nazis Nazis, and it's not because they just put on clothes, because like people that the most people in our society today who are Nazis, they're dressed in suits and stuff like that. You wouldn't, if you were expecting to identify them as Nazis because they were wearing Third Reich uniforms, you'd be lost, But the way you would identify a Nazi is because they support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany. So like the mainstream media, for example, when the newspapers and the televisions and the radios and the various websites they promote, like Facebook and Google and Twitter and stuff like that, when they're all supporting and promoting the policies of Nazi Germany, it's not some like throwaway derogatory statement that I call it Nazi Facebook or Nazi BBC or Nazi, because these organisations were once, I dare say Twitter and Facebook weren't around at the time of like, Nazi Germany, but like BBC, that was around at the time of Nazi Germany. It used to be opposed to the policies of Nazi Germany. Now it supports and promotes the policies of Nazi Germany, and I would say that's sort of went down that direction since about 93, but when I'm saying something's a Nazi, I'm not saying it's not like a derogatory statement like on the buses the officious inspector they called him a Nazi because it was strict, but he wasn't like supporting and promoting the policies of Nazi Germany. He was just like someone in the direction. He looked like one of the way he was behaving, he's a bit over strict and officious, So they called him a Nazi, but he wasn't really a Nazi, and everybody could understand it was just a derogatory statement over someone behaving in a hateful manner. It was a bit strict, And I get the idea when people are calling people like Donald Trump are calling him a Nazi, and he's the boss, he's strict, and when they're saying he's a Nazi, they don't mean he's an actual Nazi promoting and supporting the policies of Nazi Germany. They just say they don't like him because he's strict and bossy and that sort of stuff, But when it comes to like supporting and promoting the policies of Nazi Germany, Donald Trump's response to that is hydrochloroquine, and the people that support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany, made a mockery of him for not implementing what they wanted, which was the policies of Nazi Germany to be implemented over the United States. So, in real terms, Donald Trump's not a Nazi, but he is a bit of a prick, so, alright, he's a Nazi, but it's not. So when I'm using the word Nazi, I'm not just using it as a derogatory statement, I'm using it as like the actual fact, it's like, if you support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany, you're a Nazi. If you're opposed to the policies of Nazi Germany, then you're an anti-Nazi, So there's a lot of people who are walking about in our society, there's people on our TV screens, there's organisations like Facebook and stuff like that who are promoting and supporting the policies of Nazi Germany and suppressing those who are opposed to the policies of Nazi Germany. And this is why I'm saying it's Nazi social media, because it's actual Nazi. They don't have like swastikas and various stuff like that, but they have actual, they lend the support to the implementation of Nazi policies in society, and it's for this reason that I'm saying Mark Zuckerberg, and that whole organisational structure, it's this Nazi, So like, if you get the idea of what I'm talking about here, you know, the various people who support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany that have kind of turned our society into a surveillance state, you know, that's what I'm calling Nazis. And, you know, for those people who are saying that we hate Prince Harry, with the assumption, which might be corrected, that these people have identified that Prince Harry is one of the people who are supporting and promoting the policies of Nazi Germany, and with the assumption that you're opposed to all the people who are supporting and promoting the policies of Nazi Germany, and you know you are concerned about all those people who are idolising those who are supporting and promoting the policies of Nazi Germany. You know, if it's genuinely because you don't like the policies of Nazi Germany, I don't like the policies of Nazi Germany either. And with the assumption that you're on my side and I'm on your side and we're all on the same side and we actually hate the policies of Nazi Germany and we can't stand those who support and promote the policies of Nazi Germany, then yeah, you know, I want to be in this bandwagon. Uh, but you know, correct me if I'm wrong. So with the assumption that we're all on the same side, an assumption that could be corrected, you know, you can prove a negative. You know, I'm making an assumption here that the we hate Prince Harry bandwagon is because we, the people on this bandwagon, reject Harry's support and promotion of Nazi ideology within the United Kingdom and all of those around the world who are promoting and supporting the policies of Nazi Germany, you know, with the assumption that that's what this bandwagon's all about, like standing shoulder to shoulder with you. We hate Prince Harry because we hate the policies of Nazi Germany, and I want to stand on your side. But correct me if I'm wrong.